Man, so what? Russell Wilson is cooked. The the Seattle Seahawks traded, excuse me, the Denver Broncos traded 4 picks, 3 players for the second or maybe third best quarterback in the AFC West. Yes, for the second or third best quarterback in the AFC West, not the AFC, not the NFL. Because guess what, man? Russell Wilson is a really good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. But over the last season and a half, he's regressed. Maybe it's his lack of interest in Seattle. Maybe it was the JV offense, as Greg Olson said on Colin Cowherd's podcast, that they were running. But Russell Wilson has regressed, and now he's going to a division that was some say is much hard, is an easier division because a much more difficult division because he just left a very difficult division to go to the best division in football. But I don't know. I mean, we're pulling hairs here if we're talking about which division is tougher, because I mean, for God's sake, we had the top 2 teams in the NFC West play against each other in the NFC Championship, along with the Cardinals, who made the playoffs. So we'll see. But man, I've seen Russ cook before, and it wasn't Michelin 5-star meal. It was really good. It was great at times. You know how sometimes you know how you have that family member, right? Who, for one meal, one family function, they knocked the macaroni and cheese like out of the park. You know, they always used to help their mom out, and the mom taught them the tricks of the trade. And as long as their mom was in the kitchen, it got the job done. It was really good. And then they hit their peak, right? As they learned the recipe from their mom down to a T. And then they kept doing their mom's recipe over and over and over and over again, and we loved it. But then, that family member started to feel themselves. And he or she starts to make the recipe, his or her own recipe, and they do their own little dilly and dallying to it. And then by the time they're doing it on their own, they're years removed from their mom's tutelage. You go, this is good, but this ain't what it used to be. Yeah, you can cook better. You know what I mean? You can cook more, but your macaroni and cheese ain't what it was when you was in the kitchen with your mom. Your potato salad ain't the same way it was when you was in the kitchen with your mom. Oh my God, that ribeye over there you make is amazing. Ain't nobody got on you in a ribeye. But we don't ask for ribeye at the family function, at least not at mine. We're asking for the meals that support everybody, not just you. And that's Russell Wilson. I've seen Russell Wilson cook, and it's good enough, but it leaves you wanting more. So when I say Russell Wilson is cooked, I mean Russell Wilson is cooked not because he doesn't have it anymore. I say he's cooked because he's just jumped from a division where he finished 4th this past year in his division to finish 2nd, maybe 3rd. So, I mean, what are we doing? Talking about 7 seeds? Seattle got fleeced, but Denver settled for their second option, not Aaron Rodgers. And you remember when Jay-Z said, when the family feud, nobody wins? That's exactly what happened here. Russell and Seattle, they get to feuding. Now they separating. Nobody's going to win here. Nobody's going to win. Russell Wilson is going to go down there. He's going to compete with Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to lose more than he's going to win. He's going to compete with the young and upcoming quarterback for the LA Chargers, Justin Herbert. And he might win more early, but as Herbert gets older and more mature and better, he's going to lose more. And then he's going to be the 3rd best quarterback in the division. and he may be on the worst coached team in the division. Are we really going to give Nathaniel Hackett, just oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. Look what he did with Aaron Rodgers and LaFleur. Okay. I saw what LaFleur and Shanahan did with Matthew Ryan. I saw what Aaron Rodgers did with the impotent Mike McCarthy. Do you really think that I think that Nathaniel Hackett was the brains behind Aaron Rodgers? The 4-time MVP, the back-to-back MVP. Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett, it was him. Rodgers is nothing without Hackett. Russ is going to elevate. I mean, hell, this is going to be the third play caller in 3 years that Russ has had because he was tired of the Pete Carroll run, pass defense or offense, excuse me. But somehow, when he did the Pete Carroll run, pass offense and Pete Carroll had a good defense, Russell was more successful. You got to look at it, man. If you go down the years, Russ goes as the defense goes. Now, he makes it look a lot better. But we talk about Matthew Stafford being one of the best trailers, not a truck in the league. Russell Wilson might be a bigger and better truck than Matthew Stafford. Because I definitely think that Russell Wilson is better than Matthew Stafford. I do believe that. But he's going to Denver. He's downgrading his tools. You say, all the weapons of Denver, all the defense of Denver. Let's talk about those weapons. Cortland Sutton, his number one receiver. Over the last 3 years, was that 704 yards, 1,012 yards, and 776 yards. And he missed a season in between with a torn ACL. Jerry Jeudy in his 2 seasons, first season, 856 yards. Last year, he got hurt, played 10 games, 467 yards. Now let's look at DK and Tyler, the weapons he left. DK, 900 yards, 1,303 yards, then 967 yards in his 3 years in the NFL. Tyler Lockett, 1,057, 1,054, and 1,175 in the last 3 seasons. Which gun got more bullets in it? You can talk about his running back. What's it? Javon Williams, I believe his name is. Averages 4.5 a carry. Chris Carson averaged 4.4. So what are we saying here? If we want to just say that Russell went to a better city to live in because he preferred Denver over Seattle, then I got it. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. But to act like he just totally upgraded his situation and he's going to be the straw that stirs that drink, I beg to differ because on a Super Bowl contending team, Russell Wilson has never been on the best unit. He hasn't. And to think that Denver's defense is going to pick up where it left off after losing Vic Fangio, some would argue the second or third, definitely a top 5 defensive coach in this entire league, it's nuts. The personnel is the same, but the play calling is not going to be the same. The scheme is not going to be the same. The knowledge, the wisdom of calling a defense on that sideline is not going to be the same. But we're just going to insert Russ, and in Russ we trust. They're the reason why Seattle let him walk out the door. And it just wasn't because he was upset. Okay? And I've heard this narrative talking about how, oh, God, Russ, ultimate team guy, go Hawks, this and that. Aaron Rodgers, ultimate me guy. And I go, man, the way they act is one and the same to me. I just think Russell Wilson is a less good Aaron Rodgers, same amount of Super Bowls, less MVP votes, and just as many playoff disappointments, if we're being honest. That's what Russell does in the playoffs, for God's sake. His last playoff game, he got put out in the first round by the Rams and Jared Goff and a backup quarterback, and guess what? We think Jared Goff should be replaced next year. Yeah, that Rams team that replaced Jared Goff and inserted Matthew Stafford, yeah, that same team, yeah, they beat Russell in the playoffs. He was 12-4 that year. Okay. Now, don't forget about, Russell Wilson's a diva. He's a diva. He puts on the front that he's a team guy. Go Hawks, go Hawks. Yeah, go Hawks. Yeah, me and Pete, we're great now. Yeah, doing all right. No, Russ is a cornball brother. RG3 has lost the title as cornball brother, and he pass it on to Russell Wilson. Let's be real. He had issues with the Legion of Boom. There's stories that came out and said, hey, they tried to make Russell Wilson the MVP of that Super Bowl. That's why they threw the Malcolm Butler pick. Guess what? If you don't throw that pick to Malcolm Butler and we maybe get a 1-yard touchdown for Marshawn Lynch, maybe that's a back-to-back Super Bowl. Maybe we think about you differently, Russell Wilson. Maybe Tom Brady leaves New England earlier, because that's 3 Super Bowl losses in a row. Maybe the gang gets back together and there's not all this clashing between offense and defense. But guess what? No. Russell was the golden boy. Everybody liked him. He says the right things, nice smile, very diplomatic, has a great relationship with the commissioner. Yeah, in Russ we trust. A lot of y'all trust in crypto. Crypto's getting killed right now, but in Russ we trust. Yeah, when it's high, but Jesus Christ. Can you get back? I don't know. Russ goes as the defense goes. But he had his issues with the Legion of Boom. Richard Sherman called him out. Other members of that defense called him out. And that team was never the same after that Super Bowl loss. Then a few years later, he floats out. Last offseason, his agent, not him, he didn't do it. It was his agent. His agent does not speak for him unless he's negotiating a contract. But if he's talking about teams to come pick him up, oh no, the agent just went off the rails. If the Seahawks trade me, go Hawks. I want to go to these teams, but go Hawks. All right, man. And he gave out his 4 teams. Go Hawks. Then during the season, he breaks his thumb, whatever, and he does damn near a documentary on his return back to the field. Puts out the story. Oh, Russ rehabs 19 hours a day. Yeah, I bet he does. I bet he rehabs 19 hours a day. But it was all about him. You see him on the field going through his pregame routine. Bro, you're not playing. What are you doing? Making it about you. Putting the spotlight on you. So all I'm saying is, if you are going to give Aaron Rodgers grief for making it about him, for dragging the Packers through the mud, for making them wait and sit on pins and needles only to come back and re-sign because you want more money, I want you to give Russ the same smoke. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just be fair and consistent with your criticism, because Aaron and Russell let us down in the playoffs every single year since their Super Bowl seasons. They have. Aaron got to 1, Russ has been to 2, but after Russ lost that Super Bowl, have you ever just watched a Seahawks playoff run and go, you know what, they're geared up for another run? No, we haven't. We're blaming Pete Carroll and the offense that he wants to run for the lack of success by Russell Wilson. Maybe Pete knows something that we don't. Maybe Pete is an accomplished football coach, a Hall of Fame football coach, a Hall of Fame NFL coach, a Hall of Fame college coach. Maybe Pete knows more than we do. Maybe. Maybe Pete sees him every day and goes, you know what? I like it, but I don't love it. Maybe. That's all I'm saying. Maybe, there's a little bit like what's his name? Mark Schlereth said, don't let Russ cook, let Russ simmer. Maybe we should just let him simmer. Maybe that's the best Russell Wilson we're going to get, because we're forced to let Russ cook. And all I've seen Russ, the last 2 seasons, I've seen Russ cook. He goes 12-4, wins the division, loses in the first round. Then the next year he misses the playoffs and has his first losing season in 10 years. Maybe there was a reason that NC State said, yeah, you can go to Wisconsin. Now, they were wrong, but maybe they're seeing some of the things that Pete Carroll saw. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, don't point the fingers at Aaron Rodgers as being a diva. Don't take that left finger and point at Aaron Rodgers as being a diva if you're not going to take your right one and point it at Russell Wilson.
We ballin',